Be resourceful, figure things out in life. In school, and some people might be, oh, poor you. That's because if I get to pretend to be compassionate towards you, I get to feel very good about myself. Oh, I'm a good person. But you're still just as weak as you were when you walked in. Am I really being compassionate towards you? Am I doing my job? Part of doing that job is being willing to be hated because it makes people better and stronger. 2 kids. Who do you suppose has better prospects in life?
The
Crippled kid. Yeah. So he's not gonna play football. He's not gonna do track. But what he is gonna do is almost anything that he sets his mind to. This is a dude whose legs don't work and he found a way to do a burpee. This is a dude who he finds a way versus the girl who finds an excuse. Philosopher we looked at last time, Friedrich Nietzsche, he says, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. He's talking again about himself. If I took that exact same quote to those 2 kids, could the girl really say what doesn't kill me makes me stronger? Or did she say what doesn't kill me gives me an excuse to not do anything? Because sometimes you can reason with people. Sometimes you can't reason with people. You gotta speak the language that people speak. Sometimes if a person speaks verbally, we can talk things out, we can solve problems. Some people only understand meanness. Some people only understand anger. Some people take kindness for weakness. Some people mistake anger and hostility for strength. But you gotta, wherever it is, you gotta meet people and speak the language that they speak so that we can communicate. Michael understood at that point. This was a kid who didn't speak reason. This kid only spoke violence, so he spoke very loudly in the language that this other kid spoke. Is this pain or is this injury? Now, physically, sure. Emotionally, of course. Psychologically as well. When you're going through a difficult time, is this injuring me? Or is this just painful? Because you can grow from the pain. Because the first time someone walks up and grabs your skin and twists it, you'll be like, it hurts a lot, man. But then after a while, when someone does it the 100th time, it's Tuesday. It's no big deal. It doesn't hurt anymore. It's fine. You don't like it necessarily. But if anybody in here does any kind of combat sports, I do Muay Thai, I teach Muay Thai. I can go outside here and know those metal poles. I can kick the metal poles, bang, bang, for fun. There are guys, why? Because I fractured my shin enough times that it fractures, calcifies, fractures, calcifies, fractures, calcifies, to the point that it doesn't hurt anymore. Did it hurt the first time? Oh yeah. Like the first 1,000 times? Oh yeah. It always, it almost always hurts. You still feel it when you do it, but it didn't kill me, and so it made me stronger. I could have done it the first time and been like, oh man, screw this, man, never again. But then you don't get stronger. It hurts every single time. People think like if it hurts, I just don't do it. No, there's a difference between pain and injury. Don't walk out there right now and kick that pole as hard as you possibly can, because you'll break your leg the first time. You have to build into it. And then once it's fractured, you have to go and you're like, well, never again. Probably because you broke it. That's an injury. So anyway, so Michael, he sits on this slide and he gets up, he tears the skin off him. And so it's like bleeding and everything. So he has to have surgery. The guy had, I think that by that time I knew him, he was 12 years old and he had 17 surgeries so far. Not all because of that, all because of spina bifida, but not all because of like tearing his skin on slides. Sometimes just corrective things, trying to fix things, whatever. Now, his dad was an interesting guy. His dad would, like I said, he'd stand up there and whatever you told him to do, Dad would always say what coach said. He was a football player. He has a background in sports. So when he reached out to me, I told him, yeah, I'll train your son, no problem. But just know that I'm not gonna baby him, dude. If he's coming in because he's being attacked. So he comes in here, he's gonna be attacked, but he's gonna learn how to defend himself. Like, okay. So he'd come in and I told everybody in the gym, all right, I introduced him to everybody. And I have like 160 students. I said, anybody who can dump him out of his wheelchair gets a free t-shirt. And he's like, what? I made him a target. And he looks at me, he looks at his dad, and his dad says and goes, Coach said, no matter what. And so he was learning how to do this. Now, The reason is because obviously he's coming in because the world doesn't feel bad for him. The world's injuring him. I'm sorry, the world's hurting him. It's not injuring him. He's going through pain, but he's being made stronger by it. I can prove it to you. He forgets his gloves one day. Now, at my gym, if you forget your gloves, you gotta do burpees. You don't just get them back. You come in like, oh, I left my gloves here yesterday. 15 burpees. Get your gloves back. Don't leave your stuff around. So one day he leaves his gloves behind. I take his gloves, I put them on a rack. Boom, that's it. He comes in finally, the next time, and he's like, Coach, I forgot. I think I left my gloves here last time. I said, yeah, they're on the rack, bro. Grab them. So he goes over to the rack. They're up on the rack because he's in a wheelchair. And looks at me, he's like, how do I get him? I go, I don't know. I told you not to leave him here in the first place. You ignored that piece of advice. Now you want more advice from me? You ignored the advice I gave you, so then you want me to give you more advice. That doesn't make no sense. Hurry up. You got 6 minutes, whatever it was. Get your gloves. So he goes to try to shake him down. I go, whoa, dude, don't shake my gear. You're gonna break it. Don't mess up my stuff because you forgot your gloves. Do the right thing. He's all, how? I go, I don't know. You figure it out. He looks at me. He looks at his dad. His dad stands there. Well, Coach said. Now, some of you right now, oh my gosh, how mean. Do you think those kids at school who are dumping him out of his wheelchair care about his feelings? I don't make him better by solving his problems for him. I make him better by giving him opportunities to solve problems in an environment where he's somewhat safe. So this dude, out of his chair, he climbs up the rack, pulls himself up, reaches up, grabs the gloves, and then boom, drops down. He got his gloves. How does he feel about himself? Pretty good. He solved a problem. Imagine if I'd gone over there, oh, come on, honey, don't forget your gloves again. Okay, I won't forget my gloves again. If that approach worked, it would have worked already. And so he goes to put his gloves on. He's like, I'm ready. I go, what do you mean you're ready? What did I tell you he owes me?
15 burpees.
15 burpees. Anybody know what a burpee is?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's like a push-up and then you have to jump on it.
Yeah.
After everyone.
Yeah, you go down, you do a push-up, you come up, and then you jump. And you go back down, you do a push-up, and come up, and you jump. I didn't break his legs. I didn't give him spina bifida. So why do I have to pay for what somebody else did? So I tell him, you owe me 15 burpees. And he goes, how am I supposed to do that? I don't know, dude, I gave you advice already. And I said, you got whatever it was at that point, 4 minutes. And I go, oh, by the way, don't forget, you're the same guy who 2 minutes ago told me you couldn't get your gloves. And you found a way. Be resourceful. Figure things out in life. In school, and some people might be, oh, poor you. That's because if I get to pretend to be compassionate towards you, I get to feel very good about myself. Oh, I'm a good person. But you're still just as weak as you were when you walked in. Am I really being compassionate towards you? Am I doing my job? Part of doing that job is being willing to be hated because it makes people better and stronger. And so I walk away. I look over at him, he's mad. He's mad. But it's okay, because I can beat him up. He can't move. So he can be as mad as he wants. I can prove that too. I have videos on my computer of me beating up I have a folder that says me beating up a crippled kid. I took videos of me training him. I beat him up bad too, it's funny. So, yeah. So he's sitting there, turns his body around, goes to his knees. He does a push-up, grabs the rack. This dude starts pulling himself up the rack again from the bottom. Lowers himself back down, does another push-up, grabs the rack, starts pulling himself back up, angry the whole time, lowers himself back down. That's 2. That's his burpee. He's doing a push-up. He can't jump, but what he can do is what he can do. And what he can do is that's his jump. Raise myself and lower myself back down. Made me a little nervous, because I thought every pull-up he's doing, he's making himself stronger. And I've already told him I'm going to beat him up, so but now he's getting stronger. So now he might become a threat. He does 15 of these things. Okay? So far, so good. In this exact same gym, there's a kids class going on off to the side. There's a girl who's 12 years old who says that she can't train today. She can't, and her grandmother's with her. And she's telling grandma, I can't today, I can't, because she hurt her toe at school. she accidentally kicked a wall or something like that, and she's like, it hurt. It's not swollen or anything. Does it hurt? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not her. I just get the sense she's very lazy, but let's just say it does hurt. She's on the side and she's trying to do cartwheels before class starts, but when it comes time to actually working, she's doing. Her grandmother says, I'm going to take her home. She says she's hurt and she can't do it. Also 12 years old. 2 kids. Who do you suppose has better prospects in life?
Good.
The crippled.
Crippled kid. Yeah. So he's not going to play football. He's not going to do track. But what he is going to do is almost anything that he sets his mind to. This is a dude whose legs don't work and he found a way to do a burpee. Now, mind you, I did tell him afterwards, that's not a real burpee. Push-ups from your knees? Come on. Where's your jump? He just looks at me. All right, fine, good enough. Let's go. Because I couldn't tell him great job yet. But this is a dude who he finds a way versus the girl who finds an excuse. The philosopher we looked at last time, Friedrich Nietzsche, he says, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. He's talking again about himself. If I took that exact same quote to those 2 kids, could the girl really say what doesn't kill me makes me stronger? Or did she say what doesn't kill me gives me an excuse to not do anything? Versus this other boy who, I know, I'm very mean. I'm very mean to him. He ended up getting suspended from school.
For what?
For beating somebody up.
Crazy. Yeah.
Dude right there. He's in his wheelchair, and there's a kid who calls a girl a bitch. Michael didn't play that. Michael was raised by a military father and everything. He says, you don't disrespect women, you don't call them that. So Michael explains to the kid, in very direct terms, you don't call girls bitches. And he's like, yeah, I do. And what are you going to do, bitch? She's like, what are you going to He started doing that stupid, really fast thing. He tries to get close. Michael's just biding his time. Michael's left-handed. The kid goes to reach in. Michael grabs him and catches him by his shirt, pulls him in, and boom, big left hand. Knocks the kid unconscious. He's 180 pounds, man. And by this time, he'd been training with me for a few months. I've got some great pictures of him, by the way. His first day with me. Maybe I'll put him up there. He's like, he's all happy. I'm just happy to be here. And then there's a progression. We can see the last picture we took together where he's sitting in his chair and he's just like, by this time he has seen some shit. He's experienced some shit. He knocks the kid unconscious. The kid hits the ground. He hit him so hard. The kid's having seizures on the ground. So everyone's like, he's dying. And Michael's sitting there. He didn't say it probably, but I'm sure he was thinking it. Coach said. So now he goes back to school. They suspend him just for a day. The other kid, he was suspended, I'm guessing by a day or 2. But the lasting impact of that stays with him. Maybe the kid in the wheelchair shouldn't have been picked on. Because sometimes you can reason with people. Sometimes you can't reason with people. You gotta speak the language that people speak. Sometimes if a person speaks verbally, we can talk things out. We can solve problems. Some people only understand meanness. Some people only understand anger. Some people take kindness for weakness. Some people mistake anger and hostility for strength. But you gotta, wherever it is, you gotta meet people and speak the language that they speak so that we can communicate. Michael understood at that point. This was a kid who didn't speak reason. This kid only spoke violence, so he spoke very loudly in the language that this other kid spoke. And so I wondered, man, some people have said, God, imagine if that kid had his legs. Imagine if that kid had his legs. Imagine what he could do. But I'm not so sure. I don't know, of course, but imagine if he had his legs. Do you think he would appreciate what he was able to do as much? Do you think he'd be overcoming? Do you think he'd have the opportunities? Do you think he'd be as strong as he is, psychologically and emotionally, to overcome things? I don't know. I wonder, if that guy had his legs, would he be doing what he's doing right now? He's in college now, by the way. Or would he be sitting in his mom's basement playing video games covered in Cheeto dust, complaining about stuff, And people might tell him, if you didn't have the body you have, you would appreciate it. Whatever. Whatever. Sometimes you don't know what you've got until it's gone. Sometimes you've just never had it, but But one of the worst things is to have it and to lose it, because then there's that regret of, man, I wish I'd appreciated this when I had it. I tell that story about Michael because he's resourceful. That dude is resourceful. He finds a way. There's always a way. There's always a way. No is almost never the final answer if you can find a way around it, negotiate, talk, figure out what a person's after. And then, but impossibility, that's for other people, man. That's not for Michael. As far as Michael is concerned, impossibility is for the girl who stubbed her toe at school and wants to go home now. That's for her. But greatness, that's for him. And he is. He's in school now. He's not only that, but he's also very smart. He's also very smart. Why? Well, he was not playing a lot of sports. He was studying, he was reading, he was learning. He was paying attention to things. And so he's an amazing kid, man. But I wonder if you do, whatever the it is here, man, I don't know what your it might be. But if you knew you might not be able to see it again tomorrow, what's the it? Is it your legs? Is it your arm? Is it, God forbid, your parents? Is it your best friend? I was thinking last period, it finally occurred to me for some reason, this is my 18th year teaching. 18 years. In 18 years, I've lost 7 students. Not lost them, I know where they are. They're just dead. I've lost 7 students. One of them, I remember, his name was Aaron. He's a good dude. If you ever can see, if you ever peek behind the screen here, there's a painting on the wall. That was Aaron's painting. His mother and grandmother gave it to me after he died. He was my student, and one day in September, early in the school year, he's sitting there at his desk, and Aaron looked like shit. And I said, "Hey, Aaron, you look like shit." And Aaron said, "Scanlon, I feel like shit." I said, "You should get that checked, man." I mean, it wasn't like a tired, there was something else, and I'm looking at him. And so he goes, I think I'm gonna go to the doctor and get this checked. I said, "You really should, like today." He's like, "All right, now I'm gonna call my mom. I'm gonna see if she can take me to the doctor." Rather than going to the doctor, he decided to go home and take a nap first, see if he felt better after the nap. And Aaron never woke up from that nap.
What?
Yeah, the senior, dude's 17 years old. No, like hippie, if you know what hippie is, like spiritual, hey man, peace, love, blah, blah, blah. That was him. He was wearing tie-dye and everything like that. All these stories about the guy was from his friends was that at his funeral was that he'd be at someone's house. I'm sorry, he'd be at someone's house in the morning. He stayed the night before. They didn't tell the parents. They're like, "Oh, he just stayed the night." And they wake up in the morning and there's Aaron in the kitchen cooking breakfast for everybody. So people going out there like, "Who are you?" So, "Oh, I'm your son's friend or whatever. So he let me stay last night. So I was just making breakfast for everybody." That was Aaron. He was an interesting guy, a fascinating guy, man. And so, but yeah, he went to sleep, didn't wake up. Another student of mine, Funkhauser. Funkhauser is fascinating. She was a girl. She played football here. But she wasn't just like the one who's out there like, "I'm not playing football." No, she was like, working at it. She played football. She was a linebacker. She actually played some games. Man. She was strong. Got her ass handed to her most games. She got knocked down every time she got back up until one day she didn't. Killed herself. I have a little guitar pick over my desk where she used to take her ID and trace out guitar picks and then cut it out. And she would give me guitar picks made from her ID. So I still have one of the guitar picks that she gave me from back there. I could tell you those stories when there's 5 more of them. So, I mean, it sucks saying, but that's the ultimate it, your life.
Do you know why she killed herself?
I do. She was one of those souls, man, that you look at and you just couldn't do anything about it, Tried. I talked to her a lot. And it was almost like when she was born, she decided this thing. Such a melancholy person. She dropped out of Sweetwater, actually. She was 1 credit shy. And then she went and got a job doing construction. She decided to play life on hard mode. She had a big old red devil tattoo on her neck right here. And I used to make fun of her about it and say, "You didn't even graduate and you had the tattoo. What the hell?" She was like, and I said, "So high, 1 credit shy." But an artist also. Tripped me out, man. Like 3 years ago, I was pulling out over here, and there's this girl, I'm assuming a student, who was crossing. And I had to do a double take because it looked just like her. I don't mean physically, I mean, the countenance. I just saw it and I was like, holy crap, that girl looks like Funky. There's a lot of stories like that, man. So that's the ultimate it. If you knew you might not be here tomorrow, what would you do today? You know, typically we think like, I would do something crazy. Well, why don't you do it anyway? You know, because probably, now I'm not saying, maybe I am, but having said that, you don't know if you're gonna be here tomorrow. And if tomorrow doesn't come, today probably didn't matter anyway. And so life is almost like this constant catching up process of let me catch up because let me set myself up today for a better tomorrow. And then tomorrow you set yourself up again for a better tomorrow and a better tomorrow and a better tomorrow. And suddenly it becomes a lifestyle where you're not only better today, because you're always gonna be better today if you work on it. You're better tomorrow and you're constantly getting better and better and better and better and better. But we won't do that unless we value our lives. And that's a big issue. We don't value our lives enough. We don't love ourselves enough. If you loved ourselves, you would see it. People would do the things that prove that they love themselves. You'd do what your nature demands. You would treat yourself like somebody who matters. You wouldn't tolerate your own behavior that you know, not that I'm telling you or that anybody else is telling you, but that you know is actually making your life worse. We wouldn't do the things that if our kids were doing them, we would say, thumbs up, so proud of them. They're doing everything the right way, such that they're going to become the best they could possibly be. That's the problem. We'll talk like we love ourselves, arrogantly. I'm the best, but we don't actually treat ourselves like somebody who matters. So, whatever the it is, man, if you weren't going to see it tomorrow, wouldn't it become precious? And if it would be, I'll leave it with this. If it would become precious, then maybe treat it like it's precious right now, because that means it is. If you woke up tomorrow and it was gone, and you would miss it, maybe that's the lesson to treat it today like it might be gone tomorrow, and that we appreciate it, we value it. That maybe is, I don't know, Diet Coke. Maybe that's people. Maybe that's our lives, whatever it is. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques? Neat, man. Happy Tuesday.